So this morning when I was jogging, I had an idea and I just recorded my voice in Google Keep. And Google Keep transcripts it by itself. And so let's check it out. So in this coming week, while we are reviewing some of the techniques, I would like to hear back from you. I would like to propose some ideas and see which one you like more. And for example, are you willing to participate on some of them? Some of it may involve asking ChatGPT to generate some code and in fact, work with those codes. We may be able to, for example, develop a mobile application using ChatGPT or GPT-4. So this is my Google Keep. I put all my notes and stuff here and then tag them with ideas. The number of these ideas is growing very fast. So for example, this is the one that I came up this morning. So let me show how it typically works. So for example, this one, so this is what I recorded.
Extend Snyder Lab connection on COVID and smartwatches to other genetic diseases and see if you can gather some data from participant.
Yeah, as you can see, so this is, I just recorded while I was, more or less wanted to jog, I started to jog. And then this is what it, basically transcribed automatically. So what I do typically is that I usually don't need that, so I delete that. And I, refine this one. So it's saying like extend, for example, Snyder is a professor of Stanford who I have some connections with his lab. So Snyder, extend Snyder lab. So they published a paper which show a connection, showing connection of smartwatches to, to COVID. And that's fairly it. I don't need to keep the rest. And then I just later go and, for example, so I close that, and then I pass it to be the idea of, I add a label of ideas. Okay, and for example, these are all ideas and so on. And I just, pretty much later go and investigate more, add more stuff, and add it to one of my YouTube. Okay, so let's take that idea and extend it. So the idea was a relationship between COVID-19 and basically the heart rate that you get from your smartwatches. And let's just extend that idea and use Bing and Bart, Google Bart, and see how we can leverage these, language models to help us extend it to a different, basically symptoms, which may actually be more related to our day-to-day activities. Okay, let's ask Bing, list all medical tests that can be done at home. Okay, so let's see how it comes up with. Okay, let's also do the same thing on Bart. List of medical tests that can be done at home. Okay, so let's figure out here. Okay, so these are the one. Pregnancy test, glucose test, fecal blood test, test for infection disease, and genetic test. Okay, that's actually better. So this is a list of tests that can be done at home. Okay, now let's see all mental health tests. List all mental health tests. Okay, so depression, Hamilton anxiety test, obsessive compulsive, and clinical interview, and so on. So as you can see, these are some tests. Actually, the tests are more than that. In fact, let me see if let's Google it. Okay. And yeah, okay, so there are some tests here, and also let's see, I found something else, which is this one. Yeah, so these are all tests that, in fact, you can even take it, online. So for example, this is like a depression test, they start asking you these questions and so on. Okay. Okay, and this is the result of the Bing. So as you can see, it's talk about general screening questionnaire, specific screening, symptom rating scales, neuropsychological tests, and self-report assessment. And these are basically the references, so many of them coming from one. So this one, I assume, is one of the main source of it. Okay. Okay, another source of the basically health information can be obtained from your smartwatches. So let's figure out what health symptoms can be detected via smartwatches. Symptoms or illnesses. Okay, let's figure out what it is. Let's do the same thing, ask the same question. From Bing. Okay, so let's go back here. So heart rate, sleep, stress, okay, falls, body temperature, and body oxygen levels. Okay, so as you can see, there are this set of information we can gather from smartwatches. Then we have a list of mental health tests that you can actually probably do at home. And there are some other tests that you can actually do it at home, as you saw. Okay, so now let's imagine that you have your smartwatch is showing that your sleep quality is not good, and you also showing that you have some high stress level. Then of course that triggers to do some basically mental test, on, for example, maybe on a stress testing, anxiety test, maybe this one. And you get some result who backs up that there are some high stress level, which may actually cause also a sleep disorder. So now let's ask what are some medical root of, let's say, insomnia. something like that. Okay, so mental health disorder, okay, medical condition, medication, okay, can be coming from your medication. So that triggers that, I'm sorry, you check your medication to see what medication you're taking. And then, let's see. Okay, caffeine and alcohol use. Okay, so or for example, we can ask that, can sleep disorder, be detected, or actually it will up be determined by saliva or blood test. Because these two tests actually more or less can be done at home. It says yes, sleep disorder can be determined by saliva or blood test, and for example insomnia, sleep apnea, and so on. Okay, so as you can see, there are different sorts of these tests, from mental tests to your smartwatch basically sensors, to some of these tests that can be done at home, that can all more or less come together and give you a more conclusive result in terms of what can be the root cause of your, for example, sleep disorder. On the other hand, let's imagine that you don't have a sleep disorder, but one of your close family member has. And now we want to find out if, let's say, sleep disorder or insomnia has a genetic cause. And if it does, then you may want to try to prevent it. So do more like some sort of early detection of the, of these basically illnesses, and try to prevent it rather than just try to, treat it when it occurs. Or for example, let's say one of your close family member has a high anxiety, high stress, or chronic stress. And then you want to see if, for example, should you do any kind of a genetic test to figure out if you're also, basically have a high chance of it or not. So let's just search for it. So for example, we can say, what are the genetic marker or tests for chronic stress or anxiety. Oh, so as you can see, it actually listed, all these genes responsible for that, which can be detected. So that will trigger you to actually run, some genetic test. And then, and then you can take it from here, and you will see that how, it's like a series of basically symptoms or signals. All of them you can actually even done at home. And in the following videos and so on, we can go over that how a large language model can bring all these pieces together. So you can start from just, typical conversation or asking a question, and then just all these, follow-up questions, come from the large language model. So we can actually construct a framework around it.